Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cold Hard Truth NFL podcast. I'm your host, Anish Gupta.
And I'm Srikar Rajendran.
Well, Browns had a bye week, so my football weekend was fine. Srikar, how did your football weekend go?
My football weekend was a lot better than if you are someone in the Colts building right now.
We'll talk about them in a minute. But yeah, both our teams were on bye. So we're just going to give you guys a weekly recap of teams that don't include ours. As you can see, I'm not rocking the cap today, and Srikar is. Shrik, you want to show them the cap hair real quick, or you want to keep it in secret?
Oh, we'll shroud that in mystery. You'll see my hair next week.
Yeah, I've got my little handlebar mustache looking flow right now. So leave it in. If anyone's gonna comment on it, please let me know if it looks okay, because I've been very critical of it. But you know what? Let's just get right into our sponsor for today's video. We've got hair up here, but us boys, we've got hair down there. And Manscaped is here to help with that hair down there, because not everyone wants hair down there. So Manscaped, with their 4th generation trimmer, can help you with that. The craftsmanship and the performance on it are next level. It features a ceramic blade with advanced technology that will prevent nicks and cuts. You don't have to worry about deflating those little pigskins down there. It's got a wireless charging system with a long battery life. Manscaped has other amazing products like super comfy t-shirt, boxers, nose, ear hair, weed whacker trimmer, crop preserver ball deodorant, all that jazz. Join over 2 million men worldwide with Manscaped with this exclusive offer. What is the code, Srikar?
CHT20.
CHT20, 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Go grab yourself that Lawnmower 4.0. Go grab yourself that t-shirt. Go grab yourself that crop preserver ball deodorant. All right, now let's get into the video. We're going to start it off with, this is a topic that we have been anticipating for the last couple of days now. So, Srikar and I love to talk football off the podcast. And one thing that really sparked about maybe an hour to 2 hour long debate was this guy in Indianapolis who isn't there anymore. Frank Reich was fired by the Colts, I believe, Monday morning. I kind of woke up to the news, and you know what? I'll let Srikar start off, because we've got very mixed opinions on the Colts front office, and we'll try and keep it PG when we argue about this, because I know this is going to take a down south turn. But Shrik, what are your thoughts on Frank Reich?
How
this went down?
I'm gonna try not to take it down south, so I'll keep it a little bit shorter than I wanted. I wanted to talk more about Saturday, if anything, because I feel like that was the more shocking news coming out of Indy. But I think I thought they should have fired both Ballard and Reich. So I understand firing Reich. I mean, you look through all the years, he hasn't gotten a playoff win since 2018. He had a say in the Carson Wentz trade, and he got sent off after a year. Then he brought in Matt Ryan, benched after 7 games. I mean, at this point, it was too tired out. It was done. So I agree with the front office cutting ties with Reich. I think they should have fired Ballard as well. And my thing is, they've gotten like solid player. Like, Ballard nailed the first 2 picks of the 2018 draft, Quentin Nelson and Shaq Leonard. But since then, I think I said this a very, very long time ago on the podcast, I think dating back last year, back when we were first talking about Ballard and Reich on the hot seat, that Indy hasn't had a Pro Bowler since 2018 other than Jonathan Taylor. So, the Colts have found solid players. You get Michael Pittman, Bobby Okereke, guys like that, but it just hasn't been near enough to actually truly contend, right? And right now, this is another thing that irritates me with Ballard. The Colts have the highest paid offensive line in football, and it's currently the worst. And it was something that Ballard said in the presser. He said, you guys really were going in on me for not getting a wide receiver this offseason, and now we have an underperforming offensive line. Well, no duh, that's your fault. It's all your guys. That's on you. So there were a lot of things in that presser, which I'm going to be frank, I'm not going to get into, because that was a wild press. I just don't want to talk about that. They gave me no confidence that this is a good hire. But let's get into it. Jeff Saturday, 13-year veteran, reached 6 Pro Bowls, 2-time first team All Pro in Indianapolis. He was a good center, potential Hall of Famer. However, he's never coached at the college or pro level. So tagging him as the interim guy over, I mean, if we want to keep it broad, guys like Gus Bradley or Bubba Ventrone, they have years of experience and could have really fit in well with that interim role. I think that's very stunning, and it is an insult to everyone that's already on the staff because Irsay is going out and saying, hey, we don't believe in you. Simple as that. Indianapolis is 3-5-1, no quarterback, no hope. I'll say that again, no hope of a turnaround. Firing Reich, I mean, after the last few years is understandable. I think Irsay was justified in that decision, but hiring Saturday it's just way more confusing on a bunch of fronts. I don't want to necessarily take this angle, but kind of do have to talk about it. This is a league that has 6 black or biracial head coaches. Colts handed the job to an unqualified white man. Now, the reason I say this, Irsay can talk about Saturday being a legend in Indianapolis, but in my opinion, if you were going to go down that legend route, Reggie Wayne was right there. Reggie Wayne was right there. And I mean, we could talk about it. Reggie Wayne is currently the receivers coach. He had every bit the career Saturday did, and then some. I mean, there's other coaches of color on that staff too. You look at Scotty Montgomery, their running backs coach. He had a big hand in Jonathan Taylor having an excellent year last year. He was definitely qualified. I won't go into it too much. I get it. We want to keep it, but it's something that I did have to talk about. All right. This move could definitely be seen as like a tank job. It could. Saturday may have a great football mind. Maybe it does work out for all we know. Like maybe he really knows what he's doing, but he's just never been anywhere close to a head coach role. And now you're giving him such a tough assignment here. I'm really confused by the move, and I'll go out and say it. I think you would have just been better off keeping Reich for the year. Like literally.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's unpack this. First of all, Reich, Reich was not the guy who brought in Matt. That was Ballard. And I think we've been over this.
He has a say.
Ballard was the main guy who orchestrated everything. He orchestrated Wentz going out, and he orchestrated Matt Ryan coming in. Chris Ballard is a power-hungry, very selfish general manager who does not want to share the blame, but always wants the credit. That is who he is. People around the Colts have said this. Even Pat McAfee has said this. Chris Ballard is not a good person. All right. Now that I have said that, look, Frank Reich, as Srikar mentioned, has not had a playoff win since 2018, though he failed to casually mention that he has 4 winning seasons in 5 years. But, that's okay.
With contending teams.
With 5 different starters at quarterback every single year. All right. Now, Frank Reich is gone. Nothing I can do about it. As much as I want to defend him, he is not in office anymore. I personally think he was the scapegoat. I think a lot of Colts fans in the NFL world will agree with me there. Frank Reich is a really good head coach. I really hope he lands on his feet, and I think he will. That being said, what are you doing? I mean, Jeff's really like that. What kind of message does that say to your players? This was supposed to be a team, first of all, that everybody expected to win their division, right? Everybody expected the Colts to win this division coming into 2022. They had a really good defense. They were 9-8 last year. They won 9 of their final 13. Again, Shaq Leonard was playing at a great level. Jonathan Taylor was a Pro Bowl running back, all-pro type of caliber player. Quentin Nelson was having the year of his life. I mean, everything. This was supposed to be a team that was supposed to be an upgraded quarterback, right? That was supposedly the case, right? That was from 9 wins, getting an upgraded QB. That obviously led to a lot of predictions for the Colts winning the division, being a potential top 5 team in the AFC. All right. They have a rocky start. The right side of the offensive line goes injured, and then they can't block to save their lives. Offense is really stagnant. They really can't do anything, and as a result, they fired Frank Reich. Now what do? They hire a guy with no experience and won 3 out of 10 games as a high school head coach in 2020. What type? See, like
he went 3-7.
What kind of front office is this? How do you tell me that? Okay. Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay are good friends. They are personally related to each other. They have good relations with each other. They are part of every decision that goes down in the Colts front office. I do not believe Chris Ballard should be there anymore if the Colts want to ever succeed. Chris Ballard is the guy, and Jim Irsay are the two guys that deserve 100% of the blame, in my opinion. I really don't know where the Colts go from here. I mean, this is just a terrible move. I don't know. I mean, like, this is they're 3-5-1. That is not the end of the world, in my opinion. You should have kept Reich for the end of the year. Even if you let him go, and personally, I don't think they should have, but here's how it works, right? You've got a power-hungry GM. You've got a power-hungry owner who doesn't want to just sit idle. What is the head coach going to do? He's not going to overpower two guys who are that high up in the office. So, look, I can say it all I want. I don't think I'm ever going to get Srikar's mind to change. He doesn't think Frank Reich's a good head coach. I do. Frank Reich, again, scapegoat here. Really sucks. Like, that move really angered me, but here's immediately when I saw it, I posted the Antonio Brown freedom video because thank God he's free, because that Colts team is a dumpster fire. I don't know what type of message the players are going to really receive from this. I mean, how do you even play for a team like this?
It's not even the coaching staff.
I really don't like I don't like where the Colts are going. I mean, this is supposed to be a stable franchise. Doesn't really look like it, and I think it really comes down from the top to the bottom. Anything else on it? You
talk about the message to the players, but I think it's just more so a message to the coaching staff. Like, they don't trust anyone. To go out and get Jeff Saturday as your interim over, as I said it, there were qualified guys there. What does that say? What does that really say? Like, if I'm a Colts staff member, I am furious right now. Furious. I don't know. Look, I don't know how you can sit up here and say that a head coach who's had 4 winning seasons with different quarterbacks every year is a bad head coach and deserves to be fired. It's fine if he was let go.
Regardless of what you think, you're not the GM, right? The Colts are the ones who did this. I cannot understand it. I really do not see a scenario where Frank Reich deserves to be fired. He's done I have never seen a head coach start off in their first 5 years with 5 different quarterbacks. That is just unfathomable.
5 different quarterbacks is the reason he's gone. They've never been able to find the guy, and that is the problem. That's why he's gone. That's
on Ballard. That's on him to find a guy. Okay, first of all, Luck retired. That's nothing you can do about it. But to spend nothing in the draft, I mean, or to at least you keep hopping from, quarterbacks
who has a say in that?
And have shown
Frank Reich.
No, Ballard.
It's the draft.
Chris Ballard is the draft goes to the GM. Chris Ballard is the one who orchestrates how the draft goes. Frank Reich can have a say in it, but even if he says that it doesn't go down, Chris Ballard is the one who's the final guy in it. No matter what Frank Reich does, he's not going to overrule what Chris Ballard thinks. He just can't. Even if Reich doesn't agree, we don't know what he agreed on and what he didn't. I don't know. It's not a 50-50 tandem. The coach and GM for the draft is never a 50-50 tandem. That's just how it works. Chris Ballard, you never give credit to Kyle Shanahan for drafting. It's always John Lynch. That's how it works. Andrew Berry, for example. Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski. No.
I give credit to Kyle too. Trey Lance was literally Kyle's guy.
No, drafting was all Chris Ballard. Frank Reich is a personnel head coach. He's not a player's head coach. I cannot put the blame on Frank Reich for the quarterback problems. I can't. I can only put it on how the offense has produced, and I have seen a top 10 offense a majority of the years he's been a head coach. I cannot put
For me, my breaking point was Carson Wentz. Think about what they gave up for Carson Wentz. We both know Frank Reich wanted Carson.
Yes,
and he got sent off after a year.
But I don't blame him for that move. I think it would. I think
it was his decision. It was his idea.
They were okay. If Carson Wentz doesn't injure his foot in the first 4 weeks of the year, they get a win. If they beat Jacksonville, they make the playoffs. It's
Have you
one
seen
game
Carson
away.
Wentz this year?
I don't go off like I can't. They're one win away. You named the season as a failure for going 9-4 down
Yeah,
the stretch.
because
I
look how
can't.
they ended
How?
it.
No, you're
The
telling me
way
a
they
fail
ended it,
like it can't. I don't give that a failure. 27-7 is not a failure in my book. I can't. Like, how is that a failure? How is 27-7 a failure?
because we've seen what Carson Wentz did this year. He got benched. Or no, he didn't get benched, he got hurt, but he was pretty much he was not any better.
He was top 3 in passing yards. I can't
Yards?
with the worst
Is that what
offensive line
matters?
with the worst offensive line in football prior to his
He
injury.
was
Then
still
the Colts
giving
took
us
it over.
inconsistency. That would have continued with Indianapolis, leading to a demise that was just delayed. I think it was a bust of a move. They sent him off after a year, which you could say it's Ballard all you want, but it falls on Reich too because he's the one who wanted Carson in the first place. I don't think it would have gotten any better. I genuinely don't. They either end up going 9-8 again, or they do worse.
Okay, again, you're saying right now that they would have the worst offense in football. They would have the most turnovers in football. They would have the least points scored in football with Carson Wentz at the helm. I just want to hear that.
For this year, all I'm saying is they would have had the exact same record.
No,
or worse.
yes, for this year.
I don't care about his individual performance. They still would have not been that good, and ultimately that's going to fall back on the guy who leads the team, the head coach. This is the larger point. It's not just Carson Wentz, it's the entire team.
No, that's what I'm saying. The offense, yes, which is what Frank Reich controls. You're telling me they would still be the worst in football with Carson Wentz?
They wouldn't be an amazing unit. They wouldn't make wholesale
changes. Would they be the worst offense in football?
No, they wouldn't be the worst, but that's such a low bar to set.
That's the bar they're at, and they're 3-5-1 with that.
Okay, cool. So they go from 32 to 25. Congratulations. That would not have solved anything.
Okay, what do you think they do? What do you think they should have done in this 2022 offseason? Yeah.
Get a receiver.
Okay.
Get a receiver. Okay, that's one. Make change.
So they got Alec Pierce in the draft.
We didn't know about they did. That didn't do anything. It was in the second round.
Okay. So what would you third round? What would you do?
I don't.
I'm asking, what would you do?
You're missing the big picture.
You would have gotten.
It doesn't matter what they.
You would have got. Wait, would you have gotten rid of Carson in the 2022 offseason?
No, I would have kept him for another year.
Did.
I would have kept him for another year, but the thing is, I think it's justified. I think it's fine that they let him go because I don't think they would have been. They at least stood a better chance with Carson than
championship level team. This is a playoff contending championship level.
You just said it. They're a championship level roster and they're underperforming. Who does this fall on?
No. So then, if this is a roster like that, would you keep? You're saying to keep Carson, right? You're saying you would keep Carson.
It probably would have worked out better than whatever's going on right now.
Okay.
But so
you're telling me the fact that Carson is not there, and the fact that they're underperforming is on Reich.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I do not think so.
Here's my thing though, because you're really confusing me here. Because the thing is, if they I think if they had Carson, they would have gotten 9 or 8 or a little bit worse than that. I think they would have done the exact same, which currently is better than this 2022 iteration of the Colts. So would that have been enough to keep Reich's job safe? I don't think so. Because again, it's another season where you said it yourself, a championship level roster, and they still underperform.
I think it falls down. You're right. So I think it falls down on getting a good quarterback. So, but what were the options available for Indy, right? Like you can't, like there's just nothing.
There was a whole QB carousel going on.
They're not. Why would you give up picks for Russell Wilson, who's 34? I wouldn't have done it
because you have a championship level roster.
I wouldn't have done it. Not for Russ. I don't think Russ makes that team, even at the caliber we thought he would be. I don't think you got 27-7 out of Carson Wentz, right? Like it's like that's good production. In a lot of the games, Carson Wentz played well. The one he needed to play well in, which was Jacksonville, he didn't. Obviously, you can give him as much as you want for it. I'm not going to defend him.
That matters more than every other game that didn't matter as much as that. I'm sorry, it overshadows a lot.
Okay. All right. So you're saying right now that any other quarterback would have done better than 27-7.
Not at all. But how do we know that Carson would have done
You're in this, like,
27-7 again? It's
that's a
like
good
we're
point.
playing a weird game.
I think he would have. I think they would have been better. I think they would have been better with Carson as a second year. I think he would have learned the offense. Or he would have been more familiar with the offense. I think the team as a whole comes back. It's the same unit. You don't have to reshuffle your offense with a new quarterback. I think they would have done. I think they would have been fine.
I think they would have done
Because Matt Ryan,
too,
you saw him play. Matt Ryan was awful. He could not escape the pocket to save his life. He couldn't climb. He couldn't throw down the field. I mean, this was a mess, right? Like, Pittman towards the second half of the year was doing great in 2021. I mean, like, this was a terrible, like, look, Jonathan, they're just stacking the box because Matt can't throw down the field. Like, that's why Jonathan's not being able to perform. At least Carson could throw it there, right? So you limit yourself a lot. And I think the whole thing with Ballard and Irsay was they keep making moves so the Colts stay relevant, right? Because at the end of the day, sure, it's a championship level roster, but you only go as far as your quarterback in this league, right? So, and I don't think Carson takes him to a Super Bowl, right? I think we both agree there, but there was no quarterback available, I thought, that was going to take you there.
Listen, this will be my final say on it. I also think they would have been better with another year of Carson. They would still have underperformed. And ultimately, that means Reich is still on the hot seat, right? Ballard, also very flaming seat now. I feel like both should have been gone. I mean, it's no matter how you shake it, I still think it would have been gone.
Do you think, okay, final question on this. Because we went a little straight. Do you think Reich's tenure in Indy was a failure? And do you think he failed as a head coach? Because this is his first stint. So, yeah, that's final question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think so. So I think we'll probably have to end it on agree to disagree. I think he did everything he could there. I think he was given a really tough situation each year. Like, it's hard, man, to start with 5 different quarterbacks.
I won't deny he could be better in a different situation, but if you're gonna ask me,
I mean, I've gotten to see it now, right? Like, especially with us, because Cal football's had a different quarterback now for the first time. It's different. You got to run different plays. You got to orchestrate a different offense, and he had to do that 5 years in a row. A little bit hard. So yeah, I will continue to defend Frank Reich. Srikar obviously doesn't think he's that good. Let us know in the comments. We'll probably clip this off, make it its own video. But yeah, I think both of us can agree, though, that Chris Ballard won. Well, I hate him on a personal level. I think he should be gone, but both of us think he should be gone, and I do not see a bright future for Indy. Mm-hmm. I don't.
Me neither.
All right, moving on. We'll go to a team that actually is rumored to trade Aaron Rodgers to the Colts. The Green Bay Packers, who lost to the Lions in a really shocking fashion. Yeah, what do you think went wrong? I mean, because Srikar kind of wrote it down in the topic. The Packers are not climbing out of this hole. So why don't you start off first? What went wrong, and then how do you think it's going to end up?
Rodgers, I'll say this: Rodgers can scream, he can yell. We see it visibly. He can do all that. People can point at him, scream, and yell back. But the truth is, I mean, this offense was killed by Brian Gutekunst and the front office when they traded Davante Adams and replaced him with Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and Sammy Watkins. That trio has had worse stats combined than Davante Adams on his own, all right? But with that being said, I don't think Rodgers is helping it. He's publicly questioned almost everyone except himself, and on the field, his touchdown to interception ratio is 14-7. And over this losing streak, he has just been horrible. At 3-6, I think the Packers are finished. And I think over in Wisconsin, it is time to start building those mock drafts, maybe do some scouting a little bit, because they're done. I'm done believing in the Packers for this year.
All right. I'm going to say this about the Detroit game first. It was just shooting yourself in the foot. Like, they played well. I mean, the defense only gave up 15 points, right? 2 red zone turnovers. And quite frankly, the second pick, I don't really blame Aaron there. Like,
the first one was awful.
He's rolling. Yeah, the first one was terrible, but the second one, I don't really blame him. And I'm honestly confused. Like, so when I watch Aaron play, he's one of those guys that would rather throw the ball away than take a risk, right? He's led the league in throwaways for God knows how long. So when you see this, I mean, it's just like you're seeing a lot of these, because Aaron's never going to have a good completion percentage, or like for a quarterback of his caliber, and you're just seeing it. I mean, even he's been having to throw these more tight window throws because his receivers aren't getting any separation. That's literally what it's coming down to, and for that reason, he's getting the ball picked off more. That's literally it. For people who are trying to figure out what's wrong with Green Bay. That's pretty much it. And, the lack of running the football, right? Packers were never a run first team. They had to switch over this year. That's what I thought they were going to do. They've been reluctant to do it. So that's kind of what it is. I'm kind of in unison with you too. I think the Vikings are going to easily win this division. May rest starters after Thanksgiving. And teams like the Bears have shown more potential than the Packers have this season. I don't know where you go from here. Because the defense has been playing great. It's really an offensive thing. And, they tried. I mean, they shot for DJ Moore, got turned down. They shot for Chase Claypool, got turned down. It's really what the Packers have been doing. Same thing kind of with Indy, what I was talking about, just this whole trying to stay relevant. It's not, something that is going to bode well for you, for a team that people always expect to be at the top of the pyramid. Do you think they're out of it? Like, do you think there's any way they make it in the wild card?
No, they're finished.
Okay. I'm not there yet just because of how weak the NFC is. I'll never be out on him, but obviously, I'm not going to predict them anymore. They're kind of with the Rams. We'll talk about the Rams in a little bit, but yeah, they're kind of there for me. Rams. Yeah, so it's just really tough, right? Because, the defense is good. I think this is a championship level defense when they play right. The problem is they're so inconsistent, and their offense, I think they're letting the whole narrative of, the receiver thing get to them because, quite frankly, I mean, it's like this is a team that has shown no heart, no fight, right? It's just so weird, like these are 5 losses that if you had told me the Packers were going to lose to the Commanders, the Jets, the Lions, who else have they lost to? The Commanders, Jets, Lions, Bills. The Bills. Okay, fine. The Colts. No, not the Colts. Who have they lost to again? The Giants, the Jets, the Commanders, the Bills, and then there's one more team that I'm forgetting. But I mean, okay. Regardless of the point, like these are just losses that you wouldn't expect Green Bay to have, right? Especially like, at home having some of these losses. It's just something you wouldn't even fathom. So yeah, I'm with you. I probably wouldn't predict them to make it. Again, the NFC is so weak, so you never know. But do you think they should trade A-Rod? Do you think he'll even want to be traded? Do you think a team will take him? I mean, where do they go with him?
This is a situation where I could easily see Rodgers requesting a trade. I mean, this happens every offseason, but I don't think it's going to be like any more hot than it is this year. Because with all this stuff going on, Rodgers could honestly retire. He could. I won't say he will. I think he still has like a couple of years left in him, but it's possible. Do I think he will get traded? As of right now, I'm going to say no. I do want to wait until we're closer to the offseason for that, but as of right now, no, I think Green Bay will hold on to him.
It's so weird, right? Because this is a team that's been the number 1 seed 3 years in a row. That's really hard to do. Mm-hmm. But mind you, it was LaFleur's first 3 years as a head coach, so pretty impressive. Yeah, I'm with you. I think he's got good years in him, but he's just a guy that like he doesn't strike me as someone that would rather fight through a rebuild than retire. Right. This is, for him, he's already kind of cemented himself. He's a 4-time MVP. Everyone kind of recognizes him as one of the most talented quarterbacks to ever play this game. I mean, what is another Super Bowl going to add to his life? I don't think it's going to put, fine, big deal. He moves up from 4 to 3. Like no one, like there's nothing for him.
It'll leave a mark just because he was never able to get back, and he had
You're right. Yeah,
Very
I think
chances.
that's always gonna hang. That's always gonna hang. But you're always gonna get those people that think, but look how talented he was. Look at all the times he didn't have a good defense. Like you're always gonna get that. And I think he's kind of content with it. I mean, you see him on Pat McAfee every week. I mean, he's just doing his thing. So yeah, I think that's kind of where we are on the Packers. You want to give a final record prediction? Do you think they even go above 500?
Final record prediction. Let's look at the slate. Okay, so I got the schedule pulled up. So I'll spoil my pick for this Sunday. Dallas at home, I think, is a loss. Okay. Tennessee at home the next week on primetime. I think that's a loss. Philadelphia in Philly, that's a loss. Chicago in Chicago, I'm going to say the Packers win that. So that brings them into their bye in week 14. Then you get the Rams coming out of the bye. I think you win that on primetime. You go to Miami, which I think is a loss. Then you come back for divisional games against Minnesota and Detroit. I think you lose to Minnesota and you beat Detroit. So that leaves you at like 6-11. So
You
I
got
think
him at 5. You got 2 wins.
5-11.
5-12.
I'll give them the Minnesota one. Maybe one or two of these games they win it. So you're looking at anywhere between 5 to 7 wins.
Wow. You know what's crazy? I can't even like I can't even like refute that too much. So yeah, man.
This is a rough slate. Like this is a tough, especially when you consider like travel.
And it's crazy because it's like, we're supposed to consider the Packers a good opponent, right? But I feel like we're just treating them as, do we treat them as an inferior?
I'm done.
That's the problem. I just don't know. I don't know where to go from here. And it's really hard for me to get to that level.
I'm a little more clear cut on that, I think, than you.
Yeah, I'm less, and it's hard, right? Because I think this has just been such a weird year in the sense that like everything we kind of thought has been flipped, right? I mean, the Colts, who we talked about, expected to be the top 5 team, the Buccaneers, the Packers, the Rams. I mean, like, these are teams that were stable, surefire, and now look at them, right? It's so weird, and I think this just goes to show how great the NFL is and how unpredictable it can be. Mm-hmm. You really don't expect things, and all these fan bases who were trash talking other teams. Hey, I mean, it's not looking too hot for these top tier fan bases. So yeah, Packer ones included. All these Packer fans from outside Lambeau are not having such a good time. But yeah, I'll end it there. I'm kind of in unison with you. These are all tough games, and quite frankly, the Packers lost all the games they should have won. So Are they maybe going to win the games they shouldn't have won? We'll see, right?
I can't say that.
And exactly, right? And I think that's where I'm at too. So I guess we'll keep it short. We don't think the Packers are climbing out of this hole.
Exactly.
But I will say, sorry, I have to say this though. I do think a team with an 8-9 record has a chance to be the 7th seed in the NFC. So it really just depends on what climbing out of this hole means.
If the Packers make the playoffs, they're gonna get curb stomped.
I don't think they will. I don't think the Packers will ever get. All right, how about this? I'll hit this one with you. I don't think the Packers will ever get back to the level that they were in 2020 with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, which means the NFC champion. There we go. I think that's what we mean by climbing out of the hole.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. To the Raiders, actually a team we were going to talk about last week, but of course they found another way to disappoint. So now we'll talk about them. Blowing another 17-plus point lead. Actually, I think they were 17-0. Yeah, so they've been up 17-0 against the Jags, 17-0 versus the Chiefs, and 20-0 versus the Cardinals, and they lost all 3 games.
Yep.
So Srikar wrote down that Josh McDaniels is a mess. I think it's finally time I start a topic. I'll go really quick here. I agree. The Raiders, it's so funny. Every time I've predicted them to go bad, they always outperform my expectations. Like last 2 years, I've had them at like 5 or 6 wins. They've superseded that. And now the 1 year where I think they're going to go like 9-8, I still thought they would go 4th in the division, but 9-8 is still a good record, guys. What are they? 2-6. I never get them right. I don't know. And I think it just comes down to this. They just never fix their problems. Like, this is what I'm going to say, right? They've always been a defensively flawed team, and they have not solved that issue for the last 2 decades. 2 decades, they have not solved this issue, okay? And I don't care about the 2016 year. I don't care about the 2002 year. For the last 20 years, they have not had a stable defense. That is their problem, right? And for the last how many years, their offensive line has just been, it's been in a flux. Like, it's not, the Raiders have failed to have more than a year of consistently good football play on both sides of the ball. And that has been their undoing. Josh McDaniels, we can blame him all he wants, but this is just another cycle in what the Raiders have been, which is why we can never fully put faith in a team that's got Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams, Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, all these names, right? This just goes to show the NFL is more than just names. And the Raiders are now sitting at 2-6 with a head coach that they just gave a contract, a multi-year contract to. That's what I'm going to say. The Raiders are just continuing this cycle of inconsistency and underachieving. I'll let you expand on that.
When McDaniels was hired, I mean, both of us were not over the top about it. I think we were both kind of low on it. We didn't expect much. He was brought to Las Vegas with so many red flags. I get everyone was saying, oh, he had a great relationship with Tom Brady. It's going to work out well with Derek Carr. Yeah, Adam Gase had a great relationship with Peyton Manning. And we saw how that ended up. So that doesn't fly, okay? But if we look outside of New England, McDaniels was either a head coach or coordinator for, I think, 3 seasons, and it was with the Broncos. And in those games,
yeah,
McDaniels, those teams sucked. And the offense especially, like, the offenses were bad. So now we look at this year, McDaniels' offense in Las Vegas. This is a friendly offensive climate, right? They're averaging 23 points a game. And this is like a decade later, too. And situationally, the Raiders suck, too. They were 3 of 12 on third down against Jacksonville. And you're up 17-0. You run the ball 13 times on 30 plays. It's just the defense fell apart as well. It's just McDaniels was supposed to elevate this offense because it was already talented, but he was supposed to just push them to the next level, and it's regressed. The Raiders have kind of just sunk back to, what is a familiar spot. As you said, over the past 2 decades, they're used to this.
The Raiders, you're right. I think the NFL this season can just be summed up with just disappointment. I mean, like, there have been so many disappointing teams. I think this has been a recurring theme. The Raiders, the Broncos, the Colts, the Packers, the Bucks, the Rams. I mean, like, all these teams that you just thought were going to be great. I mean, like, I feel like every single team in the NFL has had a disappointing game or a disappointing stretch. Even the Bills versus New York, right, last week. The Chiefs versus the Colts that one. Like, every team, I think that's been a common theme. And the teams we've talked about, right, the Colts, the Packers, and the Raiders, it's been the same thing. So
every team except the Eagles.
I mean, yeah, like, and honestly, I thought the Eagles, yeah, they played a shaky first half against you. Like, but that's the thing, right? Like, I think the NFL is in such I think it's actually good because it's so unpredictable. I can't sit up here and say, or we'll maybe talk about this when Buffalo plays, but I cannot sit up here and say Buffalo is going to make the Super Bowl or even the AFC Championship, and I'm not even kidding. This is, okay, I'll say this. I know we're kind of deviating from the Raiders here for all you Raider fans that are watching, but I will say this. I think Colin Cowherd made a great point. The whole, like, Super Bowl bubble or the teams we expect to maybe be there is the smallest I think it's ever been.
Yeah.
I really do not. I think I can only name like 4 teams. I think the Eagles, I think the Niners, I think the Chiefs, and fine, I'll give Buffalo and Baltimore. I think those are my 5 that
I wouldn't even say Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm a bit higher on Baltimore, but I think those are my 5. Like,
with that pass game, I can.
Yeah, but see how small it is, right? So you probably only got those 4 teams then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think that's kind of how the NFL is going. You think the Raiders fix it this year? No.
No, absolutely not.
Stacked AFC, I don't think so. You think McDaniels is done though?
I could see him being one and done, 100%. And honestly, if I was the guy in charge, I'd fire him. I think he's a mess.
Yeah. So they have a relationship because the Raiders GM
with the Pats,
came from New England. So,
that's why I'm saying if I was the guy in charge, but they're gonna hold on to him. It's not right, but they will.
Well, okay. Now the question is, do you get rid of Derek Carr?
No, because he's not the problem.
I would, and
Interesting.
here's why. You've had him. He is one of the longest tenured quarterbacks for a singular team, aside from A-Rod. He's the he has the most losses to start a career in NFL history. So he's just not going to. He's not a guy that's going to take you far, right? I think you need to I think you need to find someone else. I know you just gave him an extension, and I was even remember I was saying he had such a good year last year. But if you want to really take him to new heights, like he's just not the guy. And I think the Raiders need to tell themselves that and accept the cold hard truth on this one. I don't think Derek Carr is the guy.
It's
I think
fair.
that's where it really comes down to. I think it's time for a reset.
I
And I
think
know
it's
that's
fair.
crazy to say, just right. So that's my thing. That's my thought. I think McDaniel, sure, you can say he's gone, but also I think you need to start looking at Derek Carr. You can say all
I
you want.
won't.
He's underrated. He's top 12. He's top 10. That's not good enough in today's NFL. I'm sorry, it's not.
I won't
And
disagree.
with the
I just don't
defense
know
like
if they'll do
that,
it.
yeah. Yeah, with a defense like that, an offensive line like that, I'm sorry, you need some work.
Mhm.
It's just the fact of the matter. Yeah, I think we're good on that. Anything else on the Raiders?
They blow.
I remember you said there was no hope for the Saints when they played them. So do you think
Yeah.
there's no hope for the Raiders now
Oh no, they're
when they
cooked.
play?
The Raiders are done.
There we
Okay.
go. All right.
They're
All right.
finished.
All right. Well, with that, let's move on to our favorite segment, weekly picks. Srikar, give us the rundown real quick. Let's get this thing going.
So your boy won the week, 10-3. It brought me
Bad.
to within
That is
one
pretty
game
bad.
of you. So
Mm-hmm.
let's see. Jack is still in the lead with 88 wins. Next is Fans at 86. Anish is third at 84, and I am still in last at 83. But obviously, that's still up for grabs. So we'll see how this week goes. It's gonna be very interesting. It'll probably determine a lot. We're already in week 10. So that's
I just want
wild.
to say two things.
Mhm.
Two things, Shriek. One, Las Vegas, I hate you. You suck. I changed it literally at
Yeah.
9:58 in the morning. One. Two, Arizona. I hate you guys. You suck. And third, Atlanta. The guy I literally don't even remember his name. The guy who fumbled the ball. I'm gonna send you a video after this episode of a TikToker reacting. Atlanta just blows, man. Like literally all three losses were just so stupid on another level. I am furious. This is probably one of the worst weeks I've had since that 3-12 week. So all 3 ones, just let's forget about it. Let's move on. All
Great
right, let's go.
segue. Falcons Panthers Thursday Night Football. Who are you gonna take?
Two teams that I just cannot stand. Okay. Again, I'm gonna go contingency on this. I think if Baker Mayfield starts, give me Carolina, and if he doesn't, give me the Falcons.
Okay, I'll put in ATL for
Yeah.
now because I
Yeah,
think
but
it's going to
if
be
Baker
Walker.
Mayfield starts, I think Carolina gets a W at home.
Okay, Atlanta's playing really well. They almost had that game against the Chargers before they
Should've.
falconed it.
No, don't say almost should have. Please, just, let's get it right there. Should have.
Here's the thing: the Panthers are nowhere near the Chargers' talent level. This is an absolute tank job, so I got to take ATL. I don't see the Panthers.
Second half, Baker had 3 straight touchdowns.
No, it's not that I was. It's not. I mean, yeah, in garbage time, but like would translate.
That's got to give you something to look forward to if you're anyone in that Panthers locker room, right?
Maybe, but again, they'd lost that game in the first half, so it's not much I can take away from that. Let's go to the Munich game, the Seahawks at the Bucks. This game is in Germany, right?
You start. I said I got that one first.
No. I'll start. The Bucks have to be feeling good. Last second win over the Rams last weekend. I'm personally still not impressed by the Bucks. Like this doesn't change anything for me. But maybe if we're talking in context of this game, maybe this is a big momentum swing for Tampa. As much as I want to take Seattle, I'm gonna roll with the Bucks. This could be one that changes, but I think this is who knows, maybe traveling all the way to Germany kind of neutralizes the talent level, maybe, but yeah, I'll go with the Bucks. I'll go with the Bucks.
All right. One thing that no team can say they deal with more than the Seahawks is traveling. They have the most travel miles in the league every single year. This will not phase them. I think Seattle stays cooking.
Yeah.
Give me Seattle.
Good.
This is a team that has a formula. They execute it to perfection. They do the same thing in the fourth quarter, and they do it well. Uh, Give me Seattle. I think they go. I think go in Munich and win it.
All right. That could be one that changes for me. I don't think it will. I think I'm a little bit set on Tampa. But let's go to the Vikings and the Bills. We're both gonna go contingency on this. Let's see if Josh Allen is all good to go. The Bills have been dominant at home. They haven't lost a game at home yet. I'll put the Bills for now. As long as they have Josh Allen, I think they'll win this game. Minnesota will definitely compete. If it's Case Keenum, I'm changing the pick to Minnesota.
Okay. I think this is going to be a statement game for Minnesota. I think this is a one where they show that this is a team that belongs in some bigger conversations. Josh Allen had his worst game that I've seen since probably his rookie year. So I am going to go Minnesota here.
Okay.
Big time.
Already
Big time.
two differences
Big time.
already.
Big time. Big time. I think this is a statement game.
Okay. The Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. I'm going to let you start for this one, but an interesting divisional matchup. Obviously, we saw Justin Fields last week. I was very impressed. I love the coaching staff that's around him. I won't go into it too much, but who do you got?
Okay. Starting to hype up my boy a little bit. All right. I'm loving it. Well, look who's had flashes pay off. Justin Fields is finally getting some NFL recognition, and it's so ironic because the Bears are being more talked about than the Dolphins, even though the Dolphins won, which I find that a little bit weird.
Yeah.
You're right. I think Chicago keeps it going. Give me Chicago here.
I'm also going to take Chicago. The Bears are really competitive now. We saw the Pats game. They hung in the Dallas game at least a little bit. Justin Fields, he's coming into his own here. He's really making strides. He's shown growth.
I think they have a formula, right?
Yeah.
So they've been the best rushing team in a 4-week span since I think 1970s. So yeah, run the damn ball, guys.
Yeah,
and it might lead to some victories.
It's a lot of reason to believe they'll handle Detroit here at home. The Broncos and the Titans. I'll start here. This is a pretty tough game for me, especially with the Broncos coming off the bye. But here's the thing. Tennessee's run game against the Broncos' run defense. I mean, the Titans, I just think they're the better team on both sides of the ball. That's what it is for me. So I'll go with Tennessee. It does kind of depend who's starting, okay?
Oh, really?
You know my thoughts on Malik Willis, but I still think you got to give him some time. I still think you have to give him time, okay?
Really? Oh my God. Okay.
He's shown he's
all right,
really
all right. Let me unpack this real quick. First of all, Malik Willis was so unwatchable that game. I was furious. I was yelling at my TV. What were you doing? Oh my God. -2 passing yards in the second half. How are you so bad? I mean, I'm looking at that final drive, and this
also the receivers couldn't get separation to save their lives.
He could not. Oh my God!
Because no receiver could get separation.
Okay, no, don't do this. He had a good pass that was dropped. I'll give him that. He had a good pass that was dropped. I can't remember when it was, but he did have one good pass that I remember that was dropped. Malik Willis is putrid. Ryan Tannehill, if he's playing, they 100% beat Kansas City there. The defense played exceptional. I don't care Mahomes had 400 yards. What matters is point total versus point total, and they held the Chiefs to 20 points. So give me Tennessee at home.
I'm going to stand by it. Give Malik Willis some time. The guy is extremely raw, and please get him a receiver, okay? So Tennessee there. Jacksonville, Kansas City. We just talked about the Chiefs playing against the Titans. The Chiefs are 6-2, tied for the top spot in the conference. Kansas City almost got upset at home by Tennessee, so they should be a lot more focused in this game against the Jags. I got to go with the Chiefs here.
Let's push some more Mahomes MVP narrative.
Please.
Yeah, I think people are finally hitting on that train. That guy's incredible. I mean, like, I actually had a roommate who doesn't even watch football. He was watching it, and he's like, what? Like, he was even thrown off by it, and I was like, dude, yeah, that's that guy. I know you guys are probably thinking, how the hell can I have a roommate that doesn't watch football? I know. I ask myself that every day. Give me the Chiefs.
What's crazy about that game is Mahomes, I'd say by his standards, he didn't have a good game. He made the plays when they needed him to. Overall, if you look at it as a total game, it wasn't that good by his standards, but when they needed him, he made.
I disagree. I think you throw 68 times with 14 yards from your running backs. I give it to him. I thought that was a
That's
hell of a
volume, but still, I mean, it wasn't.
hell of a performance. I don't think any other quarterback can use 14 rushing yards and have that type of game.
What I will say is he's MVP. I mean, he is my MVP right now. I think Allen's fallen. I wouldn't give it. Jalen has a strong case, but I'd still give it to
We
Mahomes.
got another one. We got a big match.
Browns Dolphins. Yeah, I'll let you start.
No, what? No, come on.
You're a Browns fan.
No, yeah, okay, fine. All right, so coming off a bye, we look pretty good. We look pretty good against Cincy. Oh man. Okay, so the Dolphins have two really good receivers, man. And I love Miami. I love Miami. I had this as a loss coming in with Watson or without Watson, but them off a bye, like, okay. Miami's what, 6-0 with Tua as a starter? I just can't, like, it's got to snap at some point, right? Like, all right, give me the Browns for now.
Okay, well, I'm going with the Dolphins. Dolphins have one of the best offenses in the league. Look, Cleveland could keep it somewhat close, but I am not trusting Jacoby Brissett to win a shootout, okay? I got to go with Miami here. The Texans and the Giants. Coming off their bye, the Giants are getting the worst team in the league in their building. I think this is going to be a blowout. Give me the Giants.
Blowout?
Yep.
I won't go there. Give me the Giants, though, I think off a bye. This is a team that has an identity. Think about it, right? The teams that have shown an identity have been doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Giants.
Saints Steelers. You get to start on this one.
Steelers off a bye. Mike Tomlin is very good off a bye. Saints have looked rather disappointing. So give me the Steelers off a bye here at home.
This could switch for me. I'm going to roll with New Orleans. Steelers just don't have offensive firepower. That's my thing. The Saints have their issues, but I think they are significantly better than the Steelers. So going to go with the Saints. I will hear out an argument for Pittsburgh. Like, I think they could definitely win this game, but go with New Orleans for now. Indianapolis versus Las Vegas. Here we go.
Two teams we've really not been kind to.
You know what's hilarious? Whatever happens in this game is going to be so funny. If the Raiders win, obviously we see all the memes about Jeff Saturday and all that stuff. But if the Colts win this game, oh my God.
If the Colts win,
Twitter will have a
you know what?
field day.
No, but dude, I just feel like it's gonna happen. Like, I don't know. Go ahead. You're first on this one.
Give me the Raiders. Jeff Saturday in his coaching debut. Give me the Raiders. And I'm only saying this because I want to jinx it so bad, and I want Jeff Saturday to win.
I hate the Raiders, man. I've been picking them, and I just, God damn, dude, they fail me every time. Of course they get the Colts here. Really?
It's just such a funny
match.
match.
It's fine because I can't wait to pick against them in the future. Give me LV.
Okay.
Stupid team.
I'm sorry, that matchup is so funny. I'm just thinking about all the different ways this game could end. The Cowboys and the Packers in Lambeau. I spoiled it before. Dallas is coming off the bye week. They're playing great at 6-2. I cannot pick the Packers right now. Give me Dallas.
You think the Packers lose 6 in a row?
Yes. Dallas is a good team, man. They're really good.
Okay. No, give me Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah. Not much to say. You
Keep in mind, this is in Lambeau. That's one of the strongest home field advantages. But here's the thing, the weather hasn't really turned in Wisconsin, so I think that won't play a big factor, but the Packers historically are good at home. So
I don't like this pick. Just give me I don't.
Okay, Cardinals, Rams, I will let you start on this one. Big NFC West game. What are you going to take in LA?
I'm done with Arizona. I am done. I've picked them way too many times. I am done with that sorry franchise. Give me the Rams. I do not care. I will put my faith in McVay any day of the week over Arizona. I am done. I'm so done with how many times they have let me down. And it's always close. Just give me the Rams. I do not care that they're 3-6. I do not care that they have looked so bad on paper. I do not care. Give me the Rams.
the Rams know that this is kind of it. You're at 3-5. You have to win, or you're pretty much done in the division if you lose this game. Arizona, on the other hand, I think they're already finished off. So who's got more to play for? I think the Rams do, in which case I will go with Los Angeles. Moving on to Sunday Night Football.
Bruh, you're so lucky.
Give me the Niners. I mean, give me the Niners.
You're so lucky. You are so lucky that this team is injured. I swear to you, if the Chargers had half of their team back, they would win this game.
It's not because the Chargers are injured. I mean, the Niners are going to run for like 500 yards in this game. Are you kidding me?
There's no way LA should win this. And now this is, I believe, 9 weeks in a row Srikar has picked SF.
Yes. And I feel good about picking them in every single one, except maybe 1 week. But Monday Night Football, Commanders, Eagles. Philadelphia's been the best, most consistent team in the league all year. Washington, on the other hand, the exact opposite. They are so inconsistent. So give me the more consistent team here. Give me
this seems like such an upset to happen, and I feel like everyone would be thrown off on it in Monday Night Football. But give me Philly. I just can't pick them, but I feel like this would be an upset if it were to happen. I think this is where Philly could end. If not, I think the only game, like the next time I think they lose would be in December against Tennessee. If they don't lose here, I think the next time is Tennessee.
I was actually going to say, I think they're going to finish the year 15-2, and I think their 2 losses will be the Tennessee game and the Dallas game.
Yeah, kind of with you there.
I think those 2 are the ones, but they're not going to go undefeated.
So we got some difference here. We got what? Cleveland,
Minnesota,
Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of these could change. I think I'm set on Tampa, but for the rest, I mean, yeah, it could potentially. It's Tuesday, so we got time.
Oh, well, long episode, but let us know what you guys think. Again, we had a lot to talk about there with Indianapolis, a team that, has gotten a little bit of recognition for a team that's in Indianapolis of all cities. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching. We've been the Cold Hard Truth NFL podcast. We will see you guys next time.